Hey folks, hope you're doing good today. Now, I've been looking forward to this day because we haven't had too many of these on the channel, haven't had it for a while. This is experimental music. Now, all these three bands are totally different. They don't sound the same in any way, but they're all really thinking outside the box, purposely thinking outside the box, and, you know, trying to create some music that's a bit different, that's a bit more experimental, that doesn't follow all the standard rules of verse and chorus and, you know, nice chords and all of those kind of things, and sticking to the scale. So yeah, I like this music a lot. I like to experiment with my own music, and I love it when other people experiment as well, because you get to hear things that are out the ordinary. Doesn't always have to work out, doesn't always have to sound like the best thing you've ever heard, but if it makes you think, if it's got some bits in there which really sound cool, or it's just a new sound to you that you haven't really heard, or a song structure that you haven't really heard before and it catches you off guard, I love all that stuff. I'd rather listen to that kind of music than just standard verse, chorus. And once you've heard the first verse and chorus, you know exactly how the rest of the song's going to pan out. So we're going to check out three bands today. This first band we're going to check out is called MoRkObOt. The track is called Cockputer. So yeah, let's see what these guys are all about. Sounds great. Yeah. I think it's the bass making all those weird noises. Very cool. Not too sure. Get some extreme close-ups. Yeah. It's got a lot of energy. Chaotic energy. Very cool. What I'm particularly liking about this is it's chaotic, it's disjointed, everything's doing its own thing individually. There's still a nice groove that you can lock into. So it's sounds crazy disjointed. That's still got some formation to it still. Yeah. Tones. Yeah, man. Yes, friggin' love that one. That has some superb tones in there. I'm not sure what was the bass and what was the guitar. Well, that really matters. But for three guys as well, these guys made a lot of noise, but all the tones just sounded so great. You could hear so much going on the guitar and the strings flapping about, bending, hitting the fretboard and stuff like that. Friggin' great. I love to hear all those things come through the mix and through the sound. And these guys had some great sections in there. As I say, it was really disjointed and everyone was doing their own thing, but it held together as well. And that's kind of the real key to this music, is being crazy, being disjointed, but not just being like kind of free-form jazz where it's really got no structure and everyone's just doing their own thing entirely. It's still held together. It still had some glue that held the pieces together, and the drums did lock in with the riffs and things like that. They had a groove that you could get into. It wasn't just total mess. Very, very nice. Everything came together in that one. Just great. Great tones, great riffs, great energy. And yeah, just worked out very, very nicely. I'll have to check these guys out because that's my kind of jam, definitely. Right, well, let's see what these next guys have got for us. This is Tony's experimental group. I think these guys found out me on Instagram, and since then they've been following along. He told me he's been going back and watching a bunch of my older videos as well, which is very cool, although some of those older videos are pretty crappy now by today's standards. Anyway, this is Tony's experimental group, and the track is called La Stranera. So let's check this one out. This one might be a bit more crazy. Let's see. Nice swing in the drums and good cymbal sound.
Non sono mai stato in nessun luogo, non ti ho mai amato e per fortuna non sono mai nato. Mi sono sporto oltre e ho visto il nulla della sera che di soffiato si assopiva.
Yeah, some nice layers of sound going on in the guitars. You can hear the bass nicely. Cool, passionate vocal and spoken word. Cool. of laid backness to it, building up and down.
Ti abbraccio lungo la lingua, ma sono abbastanza contento. E tu? Come ti senti? A chi stai pensando nella tua vita? Che è certamente più vera della mia. Ho dimenticato perfino il mio nome!
I like how it's flipping between the spoken word and this passionate vocal, building it up and down.
Sei straniera!
Very cool. It's got a vibe to it. Great cymbal sound, giving the high end a nice wash. Nice poppy snare.
Solo i libri mediocri, le canzoni cantate in coro, i film da centro sociale. In sintesi, sono gli altri a muoverti, a gestire le tue emozioni. E se riesci ad amare tutto questo, sei assente almeno quanto me. La mezza saggezza ti tiene vigile. Ho abbassato lo sguardo in modo tale da non incrociare le tue lunghe passeggiate.
Yeah, I love the passion in this vocal.
Simbolo cattolico, un oggetto benedetto, una pietanza. La prima volta che ti ho parlato ho negato.
Here we go, mixing it up. I've stared at the crotch of that picture the whole bloody time. There you go. That's what you look at. Very nice. Now these guys are a bit different. I want to just quickly check if I can. Oh God, I'm on the wrong page. Not sure where these guys were from. Sounded like Italian to me. Was it maybe something like that? But anyway, I love the way that the accent came through in this one. The vocal, particularly for me, really kind of moved this track along. The spoken word sounded great and it had a vibe to it. Went with the laid backness of the music at that point as well. And they ramped up the distortion and brought in that riffiness for the choruses. And then when he pushed his vocal, and it still had a spoken wordness to it, but it was more of a shouting spoken word then. It just sounded great. You could hear the passion coming through his voice. It had a great tone to it as well. And yeah, it just really went nicely mixed in between those two states. It was like, you know, two kind of mental states, calm and angry and shouting. I like that. It came through in the music, gave the music a vibe, and all these sounds of the instruments and everything had a vibe to them. You had the chilled back kind of well, it was a bit new metal-y in a way as well. That was nice drum sound, big washy cymbal to fill out the high end as well. So yeah, very cool. Not as disjointed and all of that as the first band, but definitely experimental. You know, you don't hear too many bands like that. Now, this is our old friend ZOMBIESHARK back on the show again. He's put out a new track. We had this guy on early in the show. One of the first people to get on board. Here's Trevor to come and join us as well. He must be a fan. Wrecking the stream with his legs. Anyway, spoke a lot about this guy initially when I was first starting out the show because he's a one-man band. He does a live show, and I was speaking to him about, you know, how he could kind of take his live show to the next level and be not only a great one-man band in the studio, because his music sounds great, but also be a great live performance with a vibe and all the kind of a performance to put on to the crowd. Because with one-man band music, doing it live, because, not all the members of the band, if you like, are there, as in there's not a drummer, there's not two guitarists and a bassist all on stage with you, and all that's kind of been pre-done, and really all you're doing is pressing spacebar. There's preconceptions by a lot of people in the metal community that that's not really true metal, or it's not really a true live performance. At least it's more kind of CD music, but there's definitely ways that these guys can take it to the next level as long as they think about all their live performance. And that's stuff I made a video and spoke to this guy about in the past. We haven't heard from him in a while, but he's been doing lots of stuff, putting out merch and all sorts of stuff like that, which is cool. But he's put this new track out, and this one, he calls himself Nintendo Core. His music's very glitchy and kind of computery and just got lots of raw digital sounds going on and all mixed up and stuff like that. But this one sounds a bit more chilled out and a bit more experimental, and he's a very experimental guy as well. Nintendo Core isn't something a lot of people are doing. So let's check this guy out again, see what his new stuff is sounding like. This track is called The Way the World Looked at Me, and this is ZOMBIESHARK. So let's finish off with this guy. There is a bit of headroom on this one. I can turn it up a little bit for us. This one seems a bit more emotional than the other tracks that we checked out, which were very angry and loud. So it's cool that he's bringing in a different edge to this one. That's a bit more like it. Heavy blasting digitally sounds. Yeah. Lots of different mixing and cutting techniques. Pretty noisy. It's gone with the 2020 mullet. That's making a comeback. Cool. Yeah. Nice. This one, as I say, was different to the other tracks we've checked out. Those ones were quite loud and angry. Really kind of, you could see that he was angry in the video as well. But this one definitely had more of an emotional edge to it, and you could see that in the video on this one as well. Nice kind of atmospheric synthy sounds plonking away in the high end, but then bringing in those glitched out, digitally noisy sounds as well, and energy. It brings a lot of energy into the music with all those kind of amen breaks and things like that. So yeah, very, very nice. It's nice to see that he's branching out into more than just kind of full-on digital chaos. because, you know, it's nice to have more than one edge to your sword. So yeah, very, very cool. I've enjoyed today very much. I was looking forward to this day because experimental music is really kind of up my alley. I like to get in with the regular beats and the regular mosh and all of that good stuff, but I really, really like music to catch me off guard and make me think and be a new sound or a new kind of riff or chord structure that I haven't really heard before and has got a different tone to it. People are thinking outside the box because it makes you think for your own music then. There's been tons of stuff on this show which has been new to me and has made me think for my own music. And not that you just straight up rip it off and just do that in your own music, but it makes you think, oh, I could do something like that, but I'll add my own spin to it. I'll add my own kind of, you know, vibe to it. But it's made you think, it's give you a new idea. It's inspired you in some way. And a lot of music out there nowadays is kind of sitting within the safe zone and really isn't very inspiring. It sounds great. It's got a good energy and all of that. But if you're someone like me who likes to hear new stuff and check out new sounds and different, you know, things you haven't heard before, you're not going to get it from those kind of bands. You've got to dig out these kind of guys to hear something fresh, to hear something new, to catch yourself off guard. And that's why I dig it very, very much. So I hope you've enjoyed that, guys. That'll be it for today. So we'll see you around. Bye.